Welcome back. Yes, leaning towards is a bit of a tendency. Now, David, it was fascinating last night hearing you talking about Julius Caesar and all of those words that have been created, in a sense, in memory of his name or derived from his name. But other people in history where words have been created from their name, there are still one or two hanging around.
There are many, but these two gentlemen we'll touch on tonight are remembered for the wrong reasons. In other words, we've looked at Julius Caesar and his fame, and now we're going to look at a Norwegian and a Scotsman for their infamy. Now, the first is a character called Vidkun Quisling, who was a fascist politician during the 1940s in Norway. And during the Nazi occupation of Norway, he was put forward as being the leader of a puppet government and seen as being a kind of a hand tool of the Nazi regime. And so consequently, the word Quisling is now seen as someone who betrays your nation, a traitor, a seditionist.
And did that word actually begin to be used in that country and then spread from there?
I believe so. In fact, it was quite a cause célèbre because Quisling was executed in 1945 once the war was over. So the headlines and the news spread all around Western Europe. So it spread very quickly, and Quisling is now synonymous with a fifth columnist, which is something else to talk about. But the other one is back in the 1200s. We're going to wind the clock back. A fellow called John Duns Scotus, and he was a Scotsman, and he was a very dry and pedantic theologian, and he actually wrote a lot of textbooks at the times, and those who followed those textbooks were called Scotists. But along came a wave of humanism in the 1200s, and they scorned those who followed the Scottish rules and created the word dunce. And that is why now we have the word dunce for a dolt or a dullard, essentially ridiculing this man called John Duns Scotus.
Well, great names from history that have become words. Yeah. Thank you, David. Let's have a look at our scores. They are very tight. Only 1 point separating Phil on 13 and Mita on 14 as we head into our next letters game for tonight. And this time, Mita, it's you to choose.
Thank you, Richard. Lily, would I be able to start off with a consonant again, please?
Thanks, Mita. S.
And a vowel, please.
E.
A consonant.
R.
Another consonant.
Another R.
Another vowel, please.
I.
And a consonant.
F.
Another vowel, please.
A.
And a consonant, please.
N.
Another consonant, thank you.
And last letter, S.
I'll start the clock. Well, that clock comes racing around, Mita, but how did you go that time?
I have 6, Richard.
And Phil?
8.
That sounds very promising. Let's have the 6 first, though, please, Mita.
Friars. F-R-I-A-R-S.
Thank you. And Phil?
Fairness. F-A-I-R-N-E-S-S.
That sounds like a terrific 8, David.
We love impartiality on this show, and even more if it's worth 8 points. A wonderful grade 8. And also in there is refrains, another 8. But well played.
Terrific score for Phil in that round. 8 points. Let's move straight on and see if we can get some more great words from Phil. It's your choice this time.
Lily, could I start with a consonant again, please?
You can, thanks, Phil. N.
And a second one, please.
M.
And a vowel, please.
A.
And a consonant.
T.
And another consonant, thanks.
D.
And a vowel, please.
E.
Another vowel, please.
A.
A consonant.
K.
And another consonant, please.
And last letter, M.
Thank you.
And your time starts now. Phil, once you've scored an 8, you've got a big reputation to live up to. How did you go that time?
Afraid not this time, a 7.
7. And what about you, Mita?
Even worse, 5.
Well, let's start with that 5.
Tamed.
And Phil, you're 7.
Mandate, M-A-N-D-A-T-E.
Not bad, David?
Not bad. It's a great 7. What are you talking about? Mandate, it comes from the Latin mandare, which is a command, and essentially is an order handed down from a court or possibly from an electorate to a government to rule. It's a great 7, and beware the compounds, because I thought man-made was a possible 7, but man-made, unlike airtight and phone card, comes with a hyphen only, so would not be allowed. Mandate, perfect 7.
A very good 7 indeed for Phil. That means our scores at the moment. Mita is on 14. Phil pulling ahead a little on 28. Time to get back to some numbers. Now we've had some great letters scoring, and this time, Mita, would you like to choose some numbers for us?
Would I be able to have 3 large and 3 small, please, Lily?
Certainly 3 large and 3 small. Thank you, Mita. And starting with the smalls, 7, 9, 3. And the 3 large, 25, 50 and 75. The target to reach, 189.
Thank you, Lily. Let's head there now. Well, Mita, how did you go with that numbers mix?
Not too well, Richard. I got 184.
184, 5 off the target. What about you, Phil?
189.
Spot on. You're doing very nicely there, Phil. Take us through your method, please.
7 times 9 is 63.
7 by 9 is 63.
Times 3 is 189.
Times 3 is 189.
Oh, well done. A very elegant, straightforward, simple solution, you see. Was that the best approach, Lily?
That's the method I used.
Absolutely straightforward, and 10 points to Phil. So our scores at the moment, Mita is on 14, Phil leading strongly at the moment on 38 as we go into our next break. And your next word mix, this time it's cake glob. And your clue, often found under the sink. See you in a while.